Didn't love you halfway. I didn't play pretend. Every word I ever gave you, I meant it till the end. I saw the flaws you tried to hide, still chose to stay. I loved you in the moments you pushed me away. You said love shouldn't be this hard, like truth was asking too much, but I was giving you my heart, not just my touch. I loved you for real, with nothing to prove. I gave you my trust, you gave me your doubts. I stood in the fire while you stayed unsure. You may have loved me sometimes, but I loved you for real. I stayed when words were silent, when your eyes looked past my face. I made excuses for the distance, called it space. I believed in what we could be, more than what we were. I kept choosing forever, you kept choosing the door. You said maybe someday, like hope was enough. But loving you honestly was calling your bluff. I loved you for real, when it hurt to stay. I fought for our future, you faded away. I broke into trying while you stayed unsure. You let go so easy. I loved you for real. Some harsh love inconvenience, some love in truth. I gave you all of me, you gave me partial proof. I don't regret the way I loved, I regret I stayed trying to turn your almost love into something that stays. If loving you was wrong, I'd still choose it again. I loved you for real, and that part is mine. I was honest with my heart every single time. Oh, one day I'll find a love, oh, that meets me where I stand. But you'll always be the one who knew I loved you for real. I didn't lose my heart in you, I showed it how to feel. No matter how you remember us, I loved you for real. I chose you in the mornings when the light was hard to face. I chose you in the evenings when silence filled the space. I chose you in the moments when walking felt easier. I stayed when love was heavy, when you started disappearing. You said love was automatic, like it didn't need a fight. But I was choosing you every single night. I chose you every day, through the doubt and the pain. I fought for us in ways you never did the same. I gave you all my faith, you slowly walked away. I was still choosing us, you weren't choosing to stay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. chose you in the breaking. When words were hard to say, I defended your distance, found excuses every day. I chose you in the waiting, and every maybe you gave. I built a life around a love you couldn't save. You said it shouldn't be this hard, like effort meant it was wrong. But loving you was a choice I made for far too long. I chose you every day while losing parts of me. I kept believing love would grow if I just didn't leave. I held on to our future, you let it fade away. I was still choosing you, you weren't choosing to stay. Some people love in feelings, some love in choice. I loved you with my actions, you loved me with a voice. I don't regret the way I loved, I regret I stayed, trying to be enough for someone who wouldn't choose me the same. If love is a decision, why was I deciding alone? I chose you every day, but now I choose myself. I won't beg for love that won't meet me halfway. I love again with someone who chooses me the same. I chose you every day, you chose to walk away. I didn't fail at loving you, I stayed honest and true. I chose you every day, even when you never knew. We used to feel each other breathing, even miles couldn't pull us apart. Now you're right here, but you're leaving. Every time I reach for your heart, your messages grew shorter, your silence learned my name. I felt the warmth disappear before I knew what to blame. You said nothing's really changed, like I couldn't feel the shift. But love doesn't vanish suddenly, it just starts to drift. Distance replaced love, little by little. The closer I got, the more you went cold. I held on to us while you let go. Distance replaced love, and you never noticed. I stopped asking where you were, started asking who I loved. I learned how far apart we'd grown without counting the cost. You said space would make us stronger, like it always does. But all it did was teach me how to miss what we were. You called it needing time, I called it losing you. I stayed hoping space would heal while it pulled us into distance replaced love. When words ran dry, I was still reaching. You weren't trying, I gave you my heart. You needed control. Distance replaced love, and I felt it unfold. Some hearts don't replace love, but I survived the space. I learned you can't miss someone standing face to face. I'll love again without begging, without waiting in the dark. You took your distance with you and left it in my heart. One day the space won't hurt, it won't call out your name, but tonight I'm learning how distance will replace love and change me. You love me in the moment, but never in the plan. You held my heart like glass and let it slip from your hand. Every time we got too close, you started pulling away, like love was something dangerous. You couldn't let it stay. You said don't rush the future, like I was asking too much. But all I wanted was certainty and your trust. Forever scared you, I could feel it in your eyes. You loved me until it mattered, then you hid behind goodbye. I was ready for tomorrow, you were running from today. Forever scared you, and I paid for it that way. You talked about commitment like it was a like loving me completely would seal your fate. I stayed patient and hopeful while you stayed unsure. I was building something real, you were looking for the door. Love shouldn't feel permanent, like rules for something wrong. But I was just asking you to stay when it got strong. Forever scared you, every promise I believe. You called it pressure, I called it loving you honestly. Not the weight of it, they want the feeling, not the work that comes with. I don't hate you for your fear, I hate how deep I felt trying to prove that forever wasn't something staying felt like losing you, and leaving was easy. Forever scared you, but I wasn't afraid. I would have chosen you in every possible way. I'll love again without shrinking, without begging someone to stay. Forever scared you, but it won't scare me away. I didn't was ready to trust. I felt it in the pauses between your words at night, in the way you stopped reaching, like you used to hold me tight. Your eyes didn't stay on mine, your laughter changed the sound. You were standing right beside me, but your heart wasn't around. You said nothing's really wrong, like love can just forget. But I was memorizing moments you were starting to regret. I felt you loving me less before you said goodbye. In the space between I love you and the tears you wouldn't cry, I held on to what was left while you already gone. I felt you loving me less, and I stayed too long. You stopped asking how I was, started checking out the door. Every silence felt heavier than the fights we had before. I blame myself for the distance, try to change my shame. I thought if I loved you harder, you'd choose to stay. You said love shouldn't hurt this way, like pain meant it was wrong. But loving you half-hearted is where I learned to be strong. I felt you loving me less in the way you said my name, like you didn't mean forever, like you never felt the same. I kept giving you my best while you were letting go. I felt you loving me less, but I didn't know how to say no, how to say no. Some hearts leave slowly without making a sound. They take the warmth little by little until you're freezing out. I don't hate you for changing, I hate how long I stayed trying to save a love that was already fading away. If you ever wonder why I broke, it wasn't all at once. I felt you loving me less, but I loved you all the same. I believed in every maybe, even when it caused me pain. One day I'll find a love that doesn't slowly leave, but you'll always be the one who taught my heart what it feels like to feel someone loving me less. I didn't lose you in a moment, I lost you little by little until loving you was learning how to let go. I loved you without limits, no walls, no escape. I gave you all my open doors and trusted every mistake. I believed in all your maybes like they were written in stone. I built my whole forever on the way you felt like home. You said love was endless, like it couldn't run dry. But I was giving you oceans, you were passing me by. I loved you without limits, with no safety line. I jumped in heart first, you stayed out behind. I broke every rule just to keep you close. I loved you without limits, and I paid the cost. I stayed through every silence, every almost truth. I defended your distance like it wasn't hurting me too. I learned how to be patient past what felt okay. I kept choosing us while you drifted away. You said I was asking too much when all I asked was real. But loving you without limits is what taught me how to feel. I loved you without limits, when you love with control. I gave you all my trust, you gave me letting go. I held on to hope while you held the door. I loved you without limits, now I don't know how anymore. Some hearts don't know restraint, they love until they break. They believe in what could be and how much they can take. I don't regret the way I love, I regret who I became. Trying to be enough for someone who wouldn't stay. If loving you was wrong, I'd still choose it again. I loved you without limits, but I've learned my lines. Love shouldn't cost you your peace of mind. I'll love again, just not like that. I'll guard what's left of me, but you'll always be the one who taught my heart how deep it could be. I loved you without limits, that part of me is true. Even after everything, I still loved you. I knew the ending was coming before you said the word. I felt it in the distance, in the way you stopped being sure. I could have fought with anger, could have made it loud, but my love was never cruel. Even as you walked out, you looked at me like leaving was the easiest thing to do. I held back all the breaking so I wouldn't hurt you too. I stayed soft in a hard goodbye, didn't raise my voice or cry. I let you go with gentle hands, even though it tore me inside. I loved you without bitterness, without making you the bad guy. I stayed soft in a hard goodbye. I could have asked you for reasons, could have begged you to stay, but love shouldn't need convincing, and I was too tired to break. So I smiled through shaking fingers, said I hope you'll be okay. Then I fell apart in silence when you walked away. You'll never know how hard it was to let you leave like that, to love someone completely and still not fight it back. I stayed soft in a hard goodbye, chose grace when I wanted to cry. I didn't make you feel guilty, even though I lost my life. I held on to who I am while you changed your mind. I stayed soft in a hard goodbye. Some endings don't need anger, they need mercy and restraint. They teach you who you really are in the middle of the pain. I don't regret the way I love, I regret that it had to end, but I'm proud I didn't harden just to survive the end. If loving you changed me, it didn't make me cruel. I stay soft in a hard goodbye, but softness doesn't mean I'm weak. It means I loved you honestly, even when you couldn't choose me. I heal without resentment, I love without disguise. I stay soft in a hard goodbye. One day this won't hurt so much, it won't echo in my chest, but I'll always know I loved you at my gentlest and my best. I gave you the parts that still believe, the pieces that hadn't learned to break. I hid the cracks behind my smile so you wouldn't feel my hate. I loved you while I was unraveling, while my world came undone. I gave you what was left of me when I had nothing left to run. I didn't come to you complete, but I came to you sincere. I gave you every broken part and called it love, not fear. I loved you in pieces, not perfect, not whole. I gave you my heart, one shot at a time to hold. I stayed while I was breaking, I loved you even when it hurt. I loved you in pieces, and you loved me when it worked. I patched myself between your moves, learned when to disappear. I silenced every honest thought so you wouldn't feel my tears. I kept pretending I was fine while falling more apart. I loved you with a shattered hand pressed over my heart. You said I fell too deeply, like death was my mistake, but loving you in pieces was all that I could make. I loved you in pieces with everything I had. the ones you wanted most. Some loves are built from broken things, trying to feel whole again. Some hearts bleed quietly just to be chosen in the end. I don't regret the way I love, I regret how small I grew. I was breaking just to keep the pieces close to you. I don't hate you for leaving, I hate that I stayed in fragments. I loved you in pieces till there was nothing left. I gave you every shattered part, you gave me emptiness. I'll gather all my pieces now and learn who I should be. I loved you in pieces, now I love myself completely. One day I'll be whole again, without fearing how I feel. But tonight I'm saying goodbye to loving you in pieces. In pieces. I told myself it was nothing, just a season, just a phase. That love was meant to hurt sometimes, so I stayed anyway. I learned your moods by heartbeat, your silence by the room. I kept forgiving damage you didn't know you do. You said give it time, we'll be okay. I trusted every word you said, but time just taught me how to bleed without being noticed. I stayed past the pain, past the tears I couldn't explain. I loved you through the breaking when I should've walked away. I kept choosing us while losing me again. I stayed past the pain, and it changed who I am. I made a home inside the hurting, called it loyalty. I learned how to smile in pieces and still say we. I held on to every promise like it could save the night. I was fighting for a future you had already left behind. You said love shouldn't be this hard, like I was asking too much, but I was just asking you to love me enough. I stayed past the pain, past the nights I cried alone. I made excuses for your absence so I wouldn't feel alone. I gave you all my patience, you gave me the end. I stayed past the pain and lost myself again. Some people love in comfort, not in sacrifice. They leave when it gets heavy and call it self-prescribed. I don't regret the way I loved, I regret I stayed long enough to forget my words, trying to make you stay. If loving you was strength, then leaving you was too. I stayed past the pain, but I finally let go. I learned love shouldn't cost you everything you know. I love again, but not that way. just loved you too long, and now I'm choosing healing where my heart belongs. I waited in the silence between your words and mine, believed in every someday, like it was just a matter of time. I watched the seasons change us, still standing where you'd been. I kept the door half open, hoping you'd walk in. You said just be patient, like love was on its way. But patience turned to emptiness with every passing day. I waited for love that never came, held your name like a flame. I gave you all my faith, you gave me reasons to stay the same. I stood still while life moved on, believing you'd choose me someday. I waited for love that never came. You showed up in pieces, enough to keep me near, just enough to keep me hoping, but never fully here. I learned how to read your distance in the way you wouldn't try, how you called it bad timing when the truth was goodbye. You said you cared in your own way, like that should ease the pain. But loving someone halfway is the loneliest We used to talk until the morning light. Your laughter filled the dark, made everything right. Now the words are gone, the space is cold. Your eyes look past me like I'm not whole. I try to reach you through the quiet walls, but your silence swallowed every call. I held on to the echoes of your voice, but silence isn't love, it's a choice. I waited for a sign, a single word, but nothing came, nothing stirred. Your silence changed everything, turned out forever in a never. I gave you all my dreams, but you held nothing, not even a feather. I loved you loud, I fought through pain, but your silence felt like rain. Your silence changed everything, and now I'm learning to let go again. I replayed every smile, every touch, wondering when caring became too much. I held my breath, hoping you'd fight, but you stayed quiet through every night. Built a world for us to stay. You left it crumbling in your quiet way. I gave my all, you gave me none. Now I'm standing here undone. I stay believing you'd come back, but silent. This is a line I can't cross back. Your silence changed everything, turned out forever in a never. I gave you all my dreams, but you held nothing, not even a feather. I loved you loud, I fought through pain, but your silence felt like rain. Your silence changed everything, and now I'm learning to let go again. Do you even know what you left behind? A heart still beating, a love still blind. I would've stayed through the storms with you, but silence whispered what I already knew. Your silence changed everything, took the color from all skies. I gave you all I had to give, but you never looked me in the eyes. I kept hoping, I kept praying for a love that was already gone. Your silence changed everything, and now I have to move on. The echoes of your quiet remain, but I'll find my voice again. Your silence changed everything, but I'll survive this pain. You look right through me when I talk now, like I'm part of the room. You still know all my favorite stories, you just don't listen to them anymore. Your hands rest where they used to hold me, but there's no feeling there. I stand in front of you every night and wonder if you care. I didn't change overnight, you just stopped looking my way. You stopped seeing me somewhere between hello and goodbye. I was still standing right here while you were learning how to say I'm fine. I kept reaching for your heart, but you were already free. You didn't stop loving. see. We still share the same old silence, still sleep on the same side of the bed. But every word feels temporary, like something better left unsaid. I learned to shrink my feelings down so you wouldn't feel the way. I watched myself disappear trying to make you stay. I loved you louder every day, you love me less in quiet ways. You stopped seeing me in the middle of our life. You saw the parts that were easy, then looked away when it got hard. I gave you all of who I was, you gave me what you could spare. You didn't stop loving me, you just stopped seeing me. Yeah, yeah. Do you remember who I was before I faded in your eyes? Before loving you felt lonely, before I had to ask you why. I would've stayed and fixed the cracks if you'd met me halfway through, but you chose not to notice what loving you was doing to me. Yeah, you stopped seeing me, but I never stopped trying. I stayed hoping you'd come back while my heart was quietly crying. Now I'm learning how to leave with what's left of me. You didn't stop loving me, you just stopped seeing me. One day I'll stand in front of someone and they'll see me completely. But tonight I'm letting go of the love that couldn't see me. You said goodbye like it was nothing, like a word you said before, but it stayed behind you in the hallway when you walked out my door. Your voice still hangs in empty rooms, like it never learned to leave. I hear you in the quiet moments when it's just the night and me. You let go so easily, but I'm still holding on. Your goodbye still echoes in everything I do, in the spaces where your love used to pull me through. I try to drown it out with time, but it won't let me be. Your goodbye still echoes inside of me. I packed away your photographs, but left the feeling there. Every almost and what if still cuts through the air. You moved on like it was easy, like I was just a phase. I stayed behind with broken pieces of our yesterday. You found peace in walking away, I found pain in letting you. Your goodbye still echoes when the world gets quiet at night. It follows me through crowded rooms and empty lights. I learned how to smile again, but not how to forget. Your goodbye still echoes in every breath I get. Do you ever hear it too? Even when I'm strong, it turns my healing into another sad song. I'm learning how to live again, but some wounds never close. Your goodbye still echoes. It's where my love still One day your voice will fade away like a dream I barely know. But tonight in the quiet dark, your goodbye still echoes. Yesterday, your hand fit perfectly in mine. Yesterday, your eyes said everything was fine. We laughed, we dreamed, we touched the sky, never thinking love could say goodbye. I still feel the warmth of your smile, echoing softly just for a while. But today your heart has turned away, and I'm left in the silence where we used to stay. I thought forever was ours to keep, but forever slipped while I was asleep. You loved me yesterday, but today you've gone away. The words we said, the dreams we made, are ghosts of the love that couldn't stay. I held you close, I gave my all, but love like ours can sometimes fall. You loved me yesterday, but today you've gone away. I walk through the rooms where we used to be. Your shadow lingers, but it's not for me. I hear your voice in the corners of my mind. A love I cherished, now left behind. I kept your heart like it was my own, believed in us more than I've ever shown. But love that falters, love that strays, can vanish quietly in just one day. I try to stay, I try to fight, but I can't hold back the night. You loved me yesterday, but today you've gone away. The words we said, the dreams we made, are ghosts of the love that couldn't stay. I held you close, I gave my all, but love like ours can sometimes fall. You loved me yesterday, but today you've gone away. Do you remember all we used to say? The promises we whispered in the rain. I still love you in the quiet hours, even though your heart no longer sours. You loved me yesterday, but today you've gone away. I still feel your touch, I still hear your name, but love like ours will never be the same. I gave you my heart, I gave you my soul, but sometimes love doesn't make us whole. You loved me yesterday, but today you've gone away. Oh, I'll keep the memory, I'll let you go. I loved you yesterday more than you'll ever know. You loved me yesterday, but today you're far away. don't say my name the way you used to. It falls from your lips like a sigh. Your arms still reach around my shoulders, but your heart's already goodbye. I memorize the distance growing in the space between your hands. I feel you slipping every moment, and I don't think you understand. Nothing happened all at once, it just hurt a little more each day. You love me less, not enough to leave, not enough to stay. You held my heart so carefully while you slowly walked away. I kept loving you the same while your love was losing breath. You didn't stop loving me, you just loved me less. Still laugh at the same old story, still sleep on the same side of the bed. But everything feels temporary, like words we already said. I ask if you're okay, and I like truth is too heavy to confess. I start blaming myself for changes you never tried to address. I stayed hoping you'd come back around. You stayed open, I wouldn't notice. You love me less, and I felt it in your touch, in the way you pulled away when I needed you too much. I gave you all I had left, you gave me what was left of you. You didn't break my heart in two, you just loved me less. Do you remember when it was easy, when loving me didn't feel like work, when my name made you smile instead of hurt? I would have fought through the hardest days if you told me what you needed, but you chose silence over truth and let my heart keep bleeding. You love me less, and I loved you through it all, through the distance, through the doubt, through the quiet when I call. Now I'm learning how to let go of what we never said. You didn't stop loving me, you just love me less. I'll stop reaching for your hand when it's all